Hello everyone and welcome. In this video we are checking out the 2016 Subaru Forester. Now one of the other benefits of that low weight is the fuel economy, and so comparing this vehicle with other vehicles in its class, it has a better highway fuel economy rating. So 24 in the city, 32 on the highway, and that highway rating is better than the all-wheel drive versions of the Honda CR-V, the Mazda CX-5, the Toyota RAV4, and the Ford Escape. So better fuel economy than all of those on the highway if you tick the all-wheel drive box. Now, speaking of the all-wheel drive system in the Subaru, this is of course standard. There is only all-wheel drive models, and you are always sending power to all four wheels. The way it works is there is a continuously variable electronic transfer clutch for which you can determine, different levels of locking force, so you can choose to send more torque to the axle that has more grip. Now, they also have something called X mode, which this vehicle does not have, but in the higher trim levels of the Forester you can get X mode. And so what that does, it changes the throttle response so it's a little bit lighter, and that's one of the things that I don't quite like about this vehicle is the throttle is really punchy as you get onto it. It's pretty aggressive, the curve to start. But you can change that with the X mode, so if you're going slow in an off-road scenario, plenty of clearance there. This does have 8.7 inches of ground clearance, so not an issue driving over this fairly deep snow, which is in the center. Now, another thing that X mode does is it limits the amount of wheel spin. So it uses the brakes. If one of the wheels starts to spin, it will more aggressively use that brake than if you don't have X mode. It also can change the amount of lockup of that center clutch, so you can send more torque to the axle with more grip. And so ultimately, this isn't the best case for me to be testing this because it doesn't have the X mode, and the X mode would enhance the off-road capability. And another thing the X mode adds is that it also gives you hill descent control. Now, as far as the practicality of this car, there's really almost no way to fault it. It has phenomenal visibility out the front to the sides. You've got huge windows, a big window out the back, so you've got great visibility. And I'm 6'1", I can sit in the rear seats, no problem. Plenty of leg room back there, so you can fit 4 or 5 adults in this vehicle, no issues. Plenty of room in the back. Almost 75 cubic feet of cargo space behind me if you fold down those rear seats, which is some of the best in this class. Not many vehicles with 75 cubic feet. It's just shy of that, but a seriously large amount of cargo space back there. So as far as practicality, good fuel economy, great visibility, very functional interior. You can fit 4 or 5 adults, and you've got plenty of space behind the rear seats for cargo space. So an extremely practical vehicle. A decently comfortable ride in here. Aside from the punchy acceleration, the steering feels okay. It's pretty light, and on roads it doesn't necessarily feel that phenomenal. Off-road it feels a little bit better because you kind of like having a lighter feel to get it to turn, especially when there's kind of forces reacting against those wheels. But overall, the steering's fine, just not that much feedback from it on the road, and a fairly light feel to it. Okay, so we've made it to our off-road playground, and the first thing we're going to do is just see if we can go over a hill. A little bit of loss of traction there. Up onto the hill. Might be a couple spots where a wheel pops up, but no problems going over a hill. Amazing. So we are just crawling. No wheel slip so far. A little bit of wheel slip there. Traction control managed the wheel slip, and we came right over. So it is able to just inch over. Pretty impressive.